caring for and the nurturing of artists and the art they make means a great deal to me.
The question's often asked of us, what is cultural policy? Policy implies regulation. At the Cultural Policy Center, though, we understand cultural policy as something broader than just regulation. We really see it as looking at and trying to understand a whole field of study. We care about the whole cultural ecology, which would mean artists and creative workers, arts organizations, creative industries. The research that we do at the Cultural Policy Center is geared for the cultural sector as well as being about the cultural sector.
My life, that is the last 35 or 40 years, in arts philanthropy, it comes out of a number of places. I'm a failed pianist and have always been moved by music and the visual arts and theater.
On the funder side, I think we really struggle to make sure that we can help. It's really critical that there's a partnership there where arts organizations are stretching themselves, are using their resources in a way that makes sense for them, that they're able to take risks and have epic fails, and that funders are there lockstep to support the learning process and not sort of be a punitive evaluator, but to really create this sort of living laboratory. That's where I think we've used the Cultural Policy Center as a partner, as a liaison in a way that can sort of take away that power dynamic that funders struggle with and really be a resource.
Well, back in the early 90s, Chicago Shakespeare did bring free Shakespeare to Chicagoans in the park, but it was situated in the center of the city at the Petrillo Bandshell in Grant Park. But it really wasn't until the mid-2000s when we saw the cultural mapping report that the Cultural Policy Center issued that we realized that the delivery of Shakespeare to the city wasn't about placing it in the center of the city, but spreading it throughout the entire city. And it really was the incredible maps and the incredible information that drove us last summer to launch a never-before attempted effort in partnership with the Chicago Park District and Boeing to deliver Chicago free Shakespeare from Austin to Portage Park, from South Shore to Humboldt Park, really looking across the entire city of Chicago and making sure that there were opportunities for cultural participation through this program.
We were alerted by people out in the field that a growing number of projects were underway or had been completed that were coming in way over budget, that were hurting the organizations that had helped launch them or that they were done on behalf of. It turns out this was the second major building boom in the United States. The first one took place in the end of the 19th and the early 20th centuries. They had no idea that it was literally tens of billions of dollars that was being spent over a relatively short period of time. And they were surprised at how little money was given to programmatic efforts and how much money was being given to bricks and mortar.
In the time that I was at an arts organization and have been an arts funder, there have been several pieces that have really helped to ground the conversation, galvanize people around ideas and solutions, and move the conversation forward. You need to have that moment, that sort of wake-up moment, the collective wake-up moment to decide as a sector that you want to change and begin the next part of the discussion, which is how do you do that?
What appealed to me was that cultural policy needed to be in a place that had the intellectual heft of the University of Chicago. It seemed like a great fit.
We feel very excited by our position in the University of Chicago because it gives us a chance to be a bridge between the theory and the analysis that goes on at the level of a university in the academic world and bridging to the practice of the arts world. We see the Cultural Policy Center as continuing to work at the heart of this kind of inquiry that's interdisciplinary, that's global, that really deals with the arts in all of the forms that they take in our social life.